My name is Alicia Jamling Rai, and currently I'm working for Fast Slow Motion as a Salesforce implementation specialist, which is an entry level position. And I was with Talent Stacker for about a month before I got offered this role. I joined Talent Stacker at the end of April, and I got offered the role at the end of May. So it's pretty much like a month journey, but it was really fruitful. Before joining Talent Stacker, I was working as an office administrator at a campus where I was working with Salesforce as an end user. And that is how I got introduced to Salesforce in a technical manner. But I was pretty familiar with what Salesforce does, even before I joined my former employer. And that is how I actually got highly interested in this role, and I started doing my research and happened to learn about different roles that a Salesforce enthusiast like me can play in a company. And this is my journey so far in just Salesforce. With COVID, changing everybody's lives, I was also looking for a change in career, and I was always interested in IT. But to be very honest, I was not into coding at all at any points. And I guess at that point, I got introduced to Salesforce even more because it doesn't require, it's more of like Salesforce admin does more of like declarative programming, which is basically just drag and drop and create the automations using the tools that Salesforce already has. So I didn't really have to uh, I would say learn more skills like coding skills like Java and HTML, CSS, and all those things. And as I started practicing on Trailhead after COVID hit in 2020, you know, that was the point I just realized that Salesforce was for me. And being someone who is highly passionate about sales and marketing, I knew that this way I could still be involved in sales and marketing aspect of a company, and I can help a company generate revenues and help them save time and resources, and also in a way make sure that the whole team understands the whole process. So I think Salesforce is great in that way as well because it's so clear and precise, and everybody knows where to go, how to do it, and what's the expected results. So that for me was what changed my mind, and that's when I decided I wanted to build a career in Salesforce. So the moment I learned about Salesforce, I went to Google and went ahead and typed learn Salesforce. And the first thing that came up was Trailhead. So I didn't even really have to go to anybody to actually look for resources. And I saw that Trailhead is such a resourceful platform because it has all the trails, the modules, and the projects that we can work on to get all the, I guess, knowledge and the information that we require to even pass the certification, because those are the basic things that a Salesforce admin or a Salesforce business analyst has to learn. So that was one of the first steps that I took after I learned about Salesforce, and I started practicing for the test, and I took my first test in December of 2021 and passed the test as well. Now, how I happened to learn about Talent Stacker was through LinkedIn. I saw this huge community, very supportive, always uplifting one another and helping one another, which was really striking as someone who was not involved in a community as such, in a Salesforce community as such. And to be very honest, I was, basically applying for jobs almost every day, but I did not really have the opportunity to even land interviews because of the lack of technical experience, or I would say the professional experience as a Salesforce administrator. And I knew what Talent Stacker had to offer because I was connected with a few Talent Stackers before I even joined the programs. And I did learn about it with Anita and Alex a little bit before I joined the Talent Stacker program. And that's how I got the opportunity to work on a project with three more Salesforce enthusiasts or slash Salesforce certified professionals like me. And that was, I guess, the beginning of my true Salesforce journey as a professional. Well, I would say that Working on a project definitely helps you understand more about the business processes because you'll have to do business analysis and all those things. And before I joined Talent Stacker, I only knew the theoretical knowledge of Salesforce, even though I did practice a lot on my personal developer work, but I didn't really have knowledge of how a business runs and the kind of problems the business might face and what might be the solutions. And keeping think we have to keep a lot of things into consideration, which I didn't really know before I worked on this volunteering project, because on this project we were helping a nonprofit organization, to achieve certain goals, be it sending email alerts or, creating workflows and flows to make sure that the business process flows smoothly and all those things. And I think that's the main difference that I found, even in the ways I gave my interviews, because I felt so much more confident in giving the in relating my answers with the actual scenarios or the actual situations that I faced during the project. And that's, I think, been very helpful for me because I didn't really have to make up anything, like say or create a project in my mind, because I actually had a project that I worked on with team members. And I think mentioning the number of team members you worked with, or even saying that we had these roles played by these people in our on our team, that just changed, I guess, the perspective of the employer as well, because they would consider how this person is going to fit in my team and all of that. So I think that's just the main difference that just changed everything. I only joined LinkedIn in February of this year. So I had zero connections before that on LinkedIn and even in the Salesforce community. And after I started adding Bradley, I started seeing Talent Stacker, and I'm not even like buttering or saying anything to make things sound better, but the community, the Salesforce community is just so supportive. And me being a part of Talent Stacker, even before I was a part of Talent Stacker, I feel so supported, and I could see people struggling. I could see people failing. I could see people learning every day despite their failures, and they were always so motivating. And I think me knowing fast slow motion was a part of this. I would say uh, connection game on LinkedIn, because I happen to know that this company values people who are hungry to learn. They don't necessarily look for people who have tons of experience in Salesforce. They believe that if you have just the required set of skills, and if you believe in yourself and you are willing to be coached or willing to be mentored, they really value that. And I think that's something I have always looked for in the company that I in companies usually. And LinkedIn definitely taught me that you know you need to weigh company values more than the compensation. And I think that's what I exactly got at the right time, and right after I finished my project. And I think it's just, I don't know, a coincidence, or I don't know, it could be a luck, or I wouldn't say total luck because I did work a lot, work hard a lot. But I think LinkedIn opened my eyes to knowing the company values and making sure that your values align with the company's values. So before I got offered, implementation specialist position at Fast Motion, I was working part time as a retail representative. I was working for Nordstrom, and I was literally on my way to Nordstrom after I finished my last interview with the CEO of the company, right? And I did not expect that they would offer me a job in less than an hour, because I thought maybe they would wait another day and discuss with the team. And I was just on my way, like literally about to open the Nordstrom door, and I see an email, and I was like hot already because of the weather, because it was 96 degrees. It's Texas, and I wanted to scream, but I didn't want to, because I didn't want to scare people, because I was literally at the right beside the parking lot. But the the happiness that I felt, the the feeling of I just felt so blessed that I didn't really require that it didn't really feel that it required a reaction, because deep inside I just felt that I got this, and this has finally happened and my day has come. So that was it. But if I was at home, I would have probably screamed at the top of my lungs and scared people around, and they could have probably called 911. But luckily I was at I was on my way to work. But it's such a great feeling when your hard work comes into fruition, and you see that you landed a job at such like you said, at such a reputable company like Fast Flow Motion, and with the kind of with the kind of pace that they're growing at currently. I'm pretty sure that there's a huge chance of growth even within the company, and I see myself working as a consultant next year. So that's what I'm working on right now, and with the kind of determination that this whole journey has given me, and given that I'm very grounded, I know that this is totally possible. It's possible for me. It's possible for you. It's possible for anybody out there who really wants it, like really wants it badly. So, so Salesforce, I truly believe that once you get used to it, and once you really get skilled at it, even the same task that took you probably an hour before might take you 15 minutes. And I know companies who really value work-life relationship. I mean, yeah, work-life balance. All those things. So I'm really big on that, because me being someone who is very new to the United States still, I really want to explore the United States and want to travel and learn more about not just Salesforce, but different industries that the US has, because I've always been very keen about these things. And I know that working remotely at Fast Slow Motion and working as a consultant is not only going to give me the opportunity to be satisfied at my work, but also allow me to learn more about other industries, because I would then have time to myself. And I truly believe that um, after COVID, everybody, at least knows how important it is to take care of themselves and also focus on their personal growth. So I think I can see my professional growth and personal growth going hand in hand in the coming years.